So now I'm going to try to run the fridge from that battery pack. First try. So this goes here. Power it on. 81%, 80. It's not yet on. DC. And it turns on. 14 degrees Celsius inside the fridge. Ooh, it's noisy. It stopped. It stopped. Output 0. F1. So we have an error message. Around 50 watts it should be consuming. The fridge is on. 52 watts. And it stops. 12.1 volts. Disconnect. Reconnect. 12.1. 11.4.2. 11.1. Maybe I should make that H less. Now it's working. But why 11 volts? 47 watts are being consumed. Battery is pretty charged up. Now it's working. 11.3 volts. Let's set it to echo. 35 watts. Maximum. It should speed up and consume more. Now it's speeding up and the consumption is slightly higher. 11.3.1. That's the battery voltage. That battery pack can power that large fridge there inside the car. That seat was pushed back. 50 watts of power are being consumed. Battery pack is 80% charged up. This one. I disconnected the fridge and this tip was very hot. So that 12 volt connector of this battery pack is not too good. Somehow the connection is poor, bad. Less power there, more heat here. Bad connector. So here's the big fridge, 40 liter, and it is being powered. There's the 12 volt connector that is just for shade, and that's a converter, and that's the solar panel. So the solar panel is providing the electricity. This device, it's some electronics inside, it is lowering the voltage and it's keeping it constantly at 12 volts, so it won't go up to 20 volts. So constant 12 volt output. XT90 connector, heat shrinked 12 volt connector, and a 40 liter fridge. DenisNetwork. Currently it's at 16 degrees. Press a minus or plus and it will show the destination, which is 10 degrees. It's flickering only on the camera. Now it's not flickering. I used the Pro video instead of the video of the Samsung S20 and now it's not flickering. So the fridge is being powered directly from the solar panel. No battery, no storage. And by the way, here's the sound. You can hear it's working. And if I come in front, it instantly stopped. It starts up slowly and it gave an F4 message. I have to disconnect it, I think. F4 because the voltage was low. Disconnect, reconnect, and it should go back to its normal state. It starts up. Here where the connector is, these two portions are getting hot. That is good. The heat from the inside of the fridge is being eliminated through there. The fridge has two radiators, one is inside and one is outside. inside part gets cold, the outside part gets warm, and we are using the cold part. So now there is almost no direct sunshine, we have shadows everywhere, and now we have F3. Before I think it was F4, now it's F3, 12.5 volts, but I guess there is not enough amperage current. Remove it, insert it. There was a beep, 17 degrees Celsius. It tried to start. There is some very light noise. Voltage is enough, but amperage is not enough. F3 again. So here's this fridge, and there's a problem with it. Here's a battery bank, and as soon as I power it on, it will turn on just a little bit, it will make a beep, and then it will turn off. Plugged in, on, beep, and it's off. So what's the problem with it? I can do it again and it will do the same thing. As it is on and beep and it's off. Well, the device itself is turned off. It's beeping and it's turning off the display because it receives power. So don't forget to power it on. And now it's not powering itself off. The motor starts and it's working. So it was powered off from the button also, not just unplugged from the power socket. There is a tiny amount of air coming out here. It's cold now. I'm not sure it's blowing, it's sucking, drawing the air. So that's the sound it makes. It stops slowly. We have light. Let's see. I will insert the camera here. Open. So I was talking about this distance. At 3 fingers it's on. At 2 fingers it's off. At 3 is on. And it's equally slightly cold everywhere. It's like a big engine. Let's use a watt meter. It's consuming 1 watt, 0.9 watts. It's consuming power even if it's not on. So I guess the adapter is consuming that amount. I will power it on. Now it's on. 1.2 watts, 42 watts, It's dropping 39 watts, 34 watts, and it's still dropping. And it's set to max. Now it sounds different. It's speeding up or something like that. And the power consumption is a bit higher, 49 watts. Now let's try the USB port. Charger tester. Connect your charger. Now it's discharging because it's a negative value. It barely gives any amperage. It's discharging, barely charging, positive. Ooh, that's kinda useless. At least we have a charging sign there. There, the Thunderbolt sign. But the amperage is very, very low. With the quick charger I have even 3000 something milliwatts. This is not giving not even 1 amp, not 3 amps. It barely gives 1/10 of 1 amp. Ooh. 53 watts. Now let's see if I power it off. Will it give any power? This did not stop. So even if the fridge is off, it still gives power at the USB. That's good, although it's very, very low. It's more than nothing. I guess it's not quick charge 3. Now it's consuming 2.5 watts. If I remove the USB, then it's even less, 0.91. Plug it back in. From 0.9 to 2.5. So that's the consumption of the smartphone from the USB port. Now let's power it on. There is a Bluetooth sign here. So swipe down, Bluetooth, enable it. A1. Let's try that one. An app is needed to use this device. So it does not allow me to connect to it. Car, fridge, freezer. Start scanning fridge. Nothing. The size here on the top is 36 centimeters. And the legs, it's 37 centimeter. It was at 18, I think. Now it's at 16. Minus 20. The plus is increasing the temperature. 5 degrees. Now it's 18. 52 watts. Let's unplug from there. Everything stopped. If it's plugged in, then this turns on also, so you don't have to manually power it on from here. And was the temperature remembered? Yes, 5 degrees plus. So it remembers the temperature even if you unplug it from the power. It says 15 degrees. Now I can definitely feel every... Ooh man, here it's much colder. That might be the warmest place. Cool, here's the coldest. Here, the side. So if the phone is not finding the fridge, then do the following. You must enable location also. Location. So not just Bluetooth, that is enabled. If you long press on it, you cannot connect to that one. An app is needed to use this device. App is needed. Car, fridge, freezer. Start scanning. It's not finding anything. Stop it. Now let's enable the location. The location. Start scanning, and it's right away there. If you disable it, it will not go away, but if you restart the application, then it's not finding it again. Make sure location and Bluetooth are on. Stop scanning, start scanning, and it's right away there. App. Press setting button on the fridge control panel. I guess it's that one. And yes, it is connected. The fridge is set to 5 degrees Celsius. That is visible if you press one of the minus or plus buttons. That's 5. If I increase it, it's increased there also. 4 here. Let's modify it from here. -5, -5, -16, -16, so it's doing it instantly. Let's set it to a less freezing temperature, let's say 4 degrees. That's in the max mode. You have eco mode also. So in max mode it's consuming 50 watts. If you press the gear icon, it will go from max to eco. Once again, eco, and it slows down, and the watts are also going down. So instead of 50, it's consuming 30 something, 33 watts, and it's in eco mode. Echo was removed, it went to max. Now if I disable the location, can I still control the fridge? -6, -13, so it's still controlling it. So location is needed only for the first connection. Echo, Celsius and Fahrenheit. The cutoff voltage, if you set it to high, then if you are powering the fridge from the battery, then it will stop the fridge at a higher voltage. If you set it to low, then it will stop the fridge at the lower voltage of the battery. So low means a more depleted battery by the fridge, and high means less depleted or a higher voltage. And it almost reached that 5 degrees, just one more degree. Let's see, it will stop after that. Currently, now, yes, and it stopped. It's quiet, even the fans are off. So it reached the destination temperature, which is 5 degrees. Currently it's 13 o'clock and 50 minutes. Now let's see, when will it power on? I'm not going to open the door, and this will test the insulation of the fridge in the walls and on the top, side, back, and all the sides. And it's consuming 1.1 watts. By the way, it went down to 4, although it's set to 5. It went down to 3, although it's set to 5. Interesting. And the motor is off. Now it's 14 and 2 minutes, and the fridge is still at 3 degrees Celsius. Let's see, can I power it off from here? It's off. Now it's on. Let's disable Bluetooth. Now it says connecting. I don't close the application. Bluetooth is on. That device did not show up down there, but it's working. It automatically reconnected. Now Bluetooth is disabled. It's gray. And it's automatically connecting to it. And I can even modify the temperature. Interesting, it's working without location and without Bluetooth. 14 and 6 minutes. 7. and the temperature rise from 3 degrees to 4 degrees. Currently it's 14 and 14 and it rised up to 5 degrees Celsius. 14 and 80 minutes and it's at 6 degrees and it did not start it yet. It's silent and it's set to 5 degrees. It's set to 5 and currently it's at 6 and the motor is not on. Now it started at 14 and 24 minutes. So there are 2 degrees difference between where you set it and where it starts working again. So I set it to 5 degrees, but the temperature went down to 3 degrees. So there are 2 degrees difference there, and between 5 and 7 also 2 degrees. So you set it to 5, it cools down to 3 and it starts again at 7. 2 degrees to the left, 2 to the right, 4 degrees difference. 14 and 31, it reached the 5 degrees and it stopped. It's at 4 degrees, although I set it to 5. It should go down to 3 after a while, I guess. Now here's the 12 volt cable. This is 1 meter long, so when I unfold it, it will be around 2 meters long. And here's an adapter from 220 to 12 volts. This was bought separately, of course, this is not included. So from 220 volts, the output is 12 volts. So I can use this cable. So this simulates the car's 12 volt socket. Now let's just remove this one. Everything went away. You cannot insert this the wrong way because it has that cut, that one on the lower side. So the cable must be down. There, down. Let's plug in this adapter. It has a blue LED. It's also consuming 1 point something watts. And this is at also 4 degrees. This time it did not went down to 3 when it's set to 5. I'm not using this one, but I'm using that one. The only difference is this. Currently I'm using the 12 volt cable of the fridge, not the 220 volt cable. So this was sold separately for the fridge, and that I bought separately. I'm using this 12 volt adapter with the 12 volt connection, and it shows 1 bar less at the battery. It says 12.1 volts. Let's try the fridge's own adapter. 12.1 with the other adapter. And 14.2 with the fridge's own adapter. And 1 bar is in plus there. We have 5 bars. So the fridge's own adapter gives more power compared to that car adapter. So once again, a car adapter is plugged in and the voltage is lower, but it should be fine because the lowest voltage of the high, that H, is 11.1 where it cuts off. So 12.1 should be okay because it's 1 volt more. This car adapter with the 12 volt plug, this one, says that it provides 12 volts at 10 amps. And if we multiply that, we should get 120 watts. So if the fridge is consuming around 50 watt, then 120 should be more than fine. Here's a 1.5 liter bottle, and it's closing just fine. And here's a 2 liter, which is even smaller. Interesting. And of course it's closing, no problems. 7 degrees, it started once again. Now it has just 2 bars instead of 4 out of 5. And it's consuming also 50 something watts, this time from that car adapter. The air is slightly warmer You can barely feel anything. I think it's drawing the air here because it feels colder, and it's blowing it out here because it feels slightly warmer. It has only those 3 openings here where the LCD is.